Hello and welcome to iskipper.net. This is lesson 23, which is estimating position. So estimating position is you can think of it like the second part from the dead reckoning. So we're going to assume that you understand and can do the dead reckoning style of navigation. And what we're going to do with the estimated position, we're just going to apply some leeway and some tide to the equation. What I've got here again is an extract from my log. It's the same information we used on the dead reckoning, but I've added some additional information that we need to know for an estimated position. So just running through what we've got. We've got time, we've got the log reading, we've got course, we've got leeway. Leeway is the amount that is the angle, it's how much the wind pushes you off course. So that 5 degrees there, we're going to add, that 5 degrees is going to be 5 degrees downwind. So I'm going to plot that onto the chart, but you wouldn't normally actually plot it onto the chart. Then at the end there, we have got some tide. And so this is just saying that the tide is flowing at 140 degrees, true, and it's flowing at 1.4 knots. The actual tide information we're going to use for the hours of 900 hours to 1000 hours is 120 degrees true, and it's flowing at 2 knots. For that, I'm not going to show you how to find that information. That'll be, you have to have a look on the other parts of iSkipper to actually find out that information, but we're just using that data for now. What I've got here is some additional chart symbols. This again is following on from the dead reckoning lesson. So what you need to know, the dead reckoning ones that we use, and then we're going to add these ones to the equation as well. The first one is course over ground, COG, and that's with the 2 arrowheads. So we've got course over ground is the direction that the boat's actually travelling over the ground, and the course through the water is the way the boat's actually pointing. So they're two different things, and that's the symbol that represents course over ground. The next one with the 3 arrowheads is the tidal stream. So that's the direction of the tide that it's flowing. And then last of all, we've got a triangle with a dot in, and that's our EP, or estimated position. So this is how it'll actually look on the chart. What we've got to start with is our time and our log reading, and that's our symbol for a fix, if you remember. And then we've got our 1 arrowhead, which is course over, which is the water track. So that's the actual direction that the boat's been pointing as we've sailed along there. The next one is course over ground, and that's the direction the boat's actually travelled over ground. So the boat's been pointing that way, but actually crabbing along that line, and that's where the boat has actually sailed. It's not actually been up here at all. And then we've got our 3 arrowheads, so that's the tide. So from the end of the water track, I plotted, it was from that the tidal information, which was 2 knots. So that's 2 in an hour, that's 2 nautical miles. So I've plotted 2 nautical miles along there. And also it's 120 degrees true. So that's the angle and the distance. So because we're plotting for an hour, I've allowed for an hour of tide for there. And it's pretty faint, but can you see the hatch line there? And that's our leeway angle. That's the actual course I wanted to sail, but the wind was pushing me off 5 degrees. You wouldn't normally plot that onto your chart. You would just start by adding it straight away, but I've just done that just to help you understand. So that's where the boat, that hatch line was where the boat was actually pointing, and this line is where it's actually travelled along. And then at the end we've got a little dot with a triangle, which is our estimated position, and that is at 10 o'clock, and that's our log reading there. So again, this is an estimated position, and it has its limitations, but it can also it can really help you out as well. And if you put in the correct, well, it's very important to put in the correct information, so the right tidal hour and the right distances, and it shouldn't be too far off. But there is a margin for error also.